You've bought your dream campervan and you're ready to ride off into the sunset, right? Hold on a second, you're not quite there yet. There are a few essential items you'll want before your first trip, or you'll risk ruining the whole experience and maybe even getting a bit of buyer's remorse. Huh? I've been around campervans my whole life and I've learned some of these lessons the expensive way. Let me save you the hassle. First up, the essentials. Let's start with bedding. You'll at least need a sleeping bag, but my advice would be to get a bedsheet, duvet, pillows, and then the most important part, if you don't have a fixed bed, the mattress topper. This fantastic invention will not only make your camper bed feel like you're sleeping at home, it'll help you get a great night's sleep, which will mean the next day you'll have such a better outlook on life. The next thing to make sure you have is cooking gear. This can be as simple as a pan, some cutlery and a kettle, all the way up to taking a toaster and an array of pans that Gordon Ramsay would be proud of. If you're planning to exclusively eat out on an evening, then obviously you don't need to go crazy here. But if you want to go off-grid for a few days at a time, then it's worth investing in some good cooking equipment. It's also important to make sure you treat yourself if there is something you really enjoy. I love a good coffee in the morning, so my portable espresso machine goes everywhere with me. And I know they're not cheap, but it was worth every penny. The best piece of advice I can give you with this would be to make sure whatever you buy stacks well inside each other. Space is always at a premium in a campervan, so make sure everything takes up as little space as possible. The next thing I personally class as essential is some sort of toilet. If you're lucky to have a built-in toilet and shower room, then you don't need to worry. However, for the rest of us, porta potty or composting toilet is something I would 100% recommend. Even if you think you'll never use it, trust me, it's worth taking. Maybe you're at a festival and the toilets are a long walk away and it's the middle of the night, or maybe you're camping off-grid but aren't quite sure what's out there. Your emergency toilet will come in handy, although don't get me wrong, you never get to love emptying them, no matter how long you've been camping. One thing a lot of people forget about in a campervan is a bin. Make sure you have some means of getting rid of your biscuit wrappers and empty milk cartons. Nearly every novice camper has gone away for a night, parked up, set up camp and then realised they have no bin. So end up with a horrible pile in the corner of the van. It can be as simple as a couple of carrier bags on a hook, or you can go to the extent of buying a specific bin. It really doesn't matter either way, but this is probably the easiest one to forget about. Now, this one depends on your van, but the majority of campers these days have electric hookup, so you can charge your phone and tablet when there is electricity available. What this does mean is you'll need a hookup cable. The first thing to say here is whatever length you think you'll need, double it. Your hookup cable can never be too long, but it's extremely annoying when you find somewhere incredible to park and your cable just isn't quite long enough. It's also worth carrying a converter from mains power to a camper hookup connector. That way, if you decide to park up outside a friend's house, you can still be connected, as long as they don't mind, of course. Now, because the earth isn't flat, the final thing I'd class as essential is levelling blocks. These are two wedges that lift up one end of the van so you are perfectly level. Trust me here, I've looked at sites that look perfectly flat, and when you park up, your bed is on a hill. Even the smallest of inclines can feel like you're sleeping on a ski slope when you lay down. A top tip here is to carry a small spirit level with you. That way, you can know exactly when you are level. We've all forgotten them and tried to see which way an egg or a pen rolls on the worktop. As the owner of Drive Lodge, I'd be daft not to mention it here. We're a family-run business specialising in safe, reliable and ergonomic roofs. For more information, click the link in the description. Next up are the things that, although aren't essential, will improve your camping experience, and before long, you'll never travel without them. The first, and in my mind the most important thing, is camping chairs. Even if you're travelling solo, I always recommend having two. One of the best things about van life is the people you meet along the way, and pulling up a chair and spending an evening building a connection with someone you've never met before is about the best thing that can happen. This is also an area I definitely recommend that you push the boat out. Not all chairs are equal, and a comfy place to sit at night can make all the difference between you enjoying the outdoors and you wishing you were back on your sofa. If you can, head to your local camping shop and try some out. If not, then take some time to look at reviews, but make sure you don't buy an all-singing chair and then find out it won't fit in your van. Following on from the chairs, I'd also recommend a small table. Having somewhere to put a drink or a sandwich when you're sitting outside comes incredibly useful. It's amazing how the flattest field can be incredibly bumpy when you're trying to find somewhere to put a beer down. This one may not be essential to everyone, but it is to me, and this is my channel telling you my experience after all. If you get to know me, you'll quickly find out I love music. So for me, having a portable speaker completely alters my van life experience. I'm not saying to be one of those people that has it on full blast, annoying everyone with a 500-yard radius of them. Nobody likes that guy. However, being able to play your music is a surefire way to put you in a good mood. Not that you should be in a bad one in your camper. In this day and age, we all spend far too much time on our phones. I know, I'm terrible for this one. It's also the dream for a lot of us to get out into nature, but this does often mean we don't have the luxury of electric hookup. So it's always worth having a couple of power banks in the van that you can charge from when you're driving, and then you can make sure your phone is topped up overnight. Depending on how long you plan to be away should be the deciding factor on which one to choose here. But without going into too much detail, the longer you plan on being away should dictate the size of power bank you need. Obviously, the longer, the bigger you should go. Unfortunately, not everything you buy is fun and to make your trip more memorable. There are a couple of things I implore you to buy to ensure you are safe. One of the best things about a camper is its compact size, but this does have some drawbacks. It means there isn't much air in the van, and because of this, if anything does go wrong, problems can happen quickly. The first and most obvious thing I recommend for you to buy is a fire extinguisher. This doesn't need to be huge, but should anything happen, it can save your pride and joy from going up in flames. The next thing I highly recommend is a carbon monoxide alarm. This is another thing we really hope that we never have to use, but if it is needed, you'll be extremely thankful for it. These are cheap enough that it's silly not to buy one. For many of us, we think we'll be outside the van all the time and it's just not needed. But is it really worth taking that risk? I'd say not. How much should you spend on all this? That part's up to you. But if you've already dropped a chunk of cash on your campervan, don't skimp on the kit that makes your trips more comfortable, safe and fun. Start simple. Buy what you can afford, upgrade as you go based on how you actually use your van. Most importantly, just get out there and use it. You'll figure out what matters to you. And hey, hopefully I'll see you out on the road.